Hey there, this is Bruce Collins. My channel is Bruce Collins Reacts and Stuff. I haven't quite figured out what the stuff part is going to be, but I'm thinking maybe like a vlog and some other things. No complaints or anything like that, or woe is me, but maybe some of the things that I come across in life. But right now, the Bruce Collins Reacts, I'm reacting to different videos on YouTube. Today I want to talk about the Mandela effect. That seems to be one of the more popular theories out there. And so you may have heard of it, maybe not. But the Mandela effect, basically the reason why it's named Mandela effect is that many people collectively thought many years ago that Nelson Mandela had died. They were sure they had heard that on the news or, heard it somewhere that he had passed away in prison in South Africa. But were surprised to find out years later that he was alive. And thus that circumstance was named the Mandela effect. There are many examples of this that we all seem to think something in the past was a certain way, and today we find out it's not. And it's obviously many people that feel that way. And so there's a lot of weird, bizarre theories about that, like alternative universes and how history is somehow changing the past. Different things like that, time travel, anything related to time and history. There's a theory about the Mandela effect. One of the ones for me personally that I had a Mandela effect with was the word dilemma. And for many years I spelled it where the last three letters were M-N-A, dilemma. That's how I thought you spelled it. And that's actually a Mandela effect theory. They don't know why so many people at some point in their life thought it was spelled M-N-A when it's actually spelled MMA. So I can relate to this, not so much a lot of the history stuff, but I can relate to that theory, at least with the word dilemma. And so we're going to look at this YouTube channel called Top 10 Unknowns. And I can't vouch for every video they've done, but I have watched them over the years and I've enjoyed several of their videos. They're kind of unsolved mysteries type videos, but again, it's Top 10 Unknowns is the channel. And so we're going to watch a video that's titled 10 Strangest Mandela Effect Mysteries Ever That Will Baffle You. And so here we go. Now, we're not going to do all 10 of these for the sake of time, and also I don't want to just rip off this channel's video. So if you want to see all 10, and they have several of these 10 Mandela effect mysteries here and there within their channel. But if you want to see this video specifically, check it out on Top 10 Unknowns. Top 5 Unknowns, sorry. For some reason they started doing top 10s, but originally I think it was exclusively top 5s. Hence the name of the channel. All right, here we go.
Number 10. In the year 1900, one of the most well-known novels was released. It was The Wizard of Oz, written by L. Frank Baum. 39 years later, many former children got their most desired wish, to see that book become an entertaining film, bringing the characters to life and hoping that they were consistent with the fantasized versions that readers had conjured up in their minds. On the 25th of August, 1939, the real-life version of a favorite novel came to the TV screens, and it didn't.
This is a side note, but as a kid, I could never get through the whole Wizard of Oz. I don't know if I had ADD or what you would call it, but that and It's a Wonderful Life, I couldn't really enjoy those movies until later on when I could sit still and watch them. But sitting there for several hours watching these long movies just killed me at the time. I don't know why.
Disappoint. The film itself sees a young farm girl from Kansas named Dorothy, who, after getting knocked unconscious during a tornado, embarks on a peculiar dream. The dream took her and her trusty pup Toto along the yellow brick road as they headed to Emerald City to meet with the Wizard of Oz. During the trip there, Dorothy meets a variety of characters, each suffering from their own host of issues. There was the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. But no story is complete without a villain. This is where the Wicked Witch of the West comes in. Along with her troupe of winged flying monkeys, whom she enslaved to do her bidding. With its vivid technicolor and familiar atmosphere, The Wizard of Oz became one of the most beloved movies in TV history. Perhaps it's for this reason that many people believe that through their repetitive reading and subsequent watching, they've memorized all the conversation points, character details, and background features. One of the most well-known sayings that's still quoted today even makes cameos in other movies, and it was a particular phrase spoken by the Wicked Witch. Many may already know exactly what this line is. It was during this...
Yeah, it's my pretties. And I've heard that hundreds of times. But again, I don't know if that was from the original movie. Obviously it wasn't, unless we believe Mandela effect is true. But I have heard that quoted exactly as "Fly, my pretties."
Scene where the villain was gathering her flying monkeys to send them after Dorothy, with the intention of capturing her and bringing the young woman back to the witch's house. That the Wicked Witch uttered or shouted the command, "Fly, my pretties, fly." The monkeys took to the sky, setting off to fulfill their master's command. The phrase sounds in place, consistent with the personality of this dominant character. It turns out, though, that in this universe, that isn't the line. After years of that line being quoted as such, and being referenced in books, movies, and TV shows, it appears that it, like several other things, has been subjected to alteration. Most might find this disturbing and completely out of place, but according to this universe's narrative, the actual line is just "fly, fly." Just the same word repeated twice. No mention of pretties at all. You may be thinking this was just another...
I don't care how many monkeys there are, they can't defeat a steel metal Tin Man.
Case of misremembrance. A misremembrance that whole fan bases dedicated to the Wizard of Oz seem to share. Perhaps they just made it up for no apparent reason, or a good portion of humanity is mistaking it for a different movie. Maybe the entire movie was refilmed to make this change, believing that "Fly, my pretties, fly" just didn't seem to fit. Or the more likely scenario, we're living in the Upside Down.
Okay, Stranger Things reference.
An attack on the soldiers below. Laverne shouts out a line as a direct reference to the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. "Fly, my pretties, fly, fly," he chants, cackling like a witch shortly
That's the
after.
Hunchback of Notre Dame
It was
movie.
clear, given the music and circumstances presented, that this was truly a reference to the beloved film, serving as evidence that the watchers weren't the only ones who remembered the witch's line correctly.
Number 9.
Number 9. Rose and Jim Totino shared a passion for food. Specifically, they enjoyed making it and wanted to satisfy the world with their incredible food. So in 1951, the pair opened up their first pizzeria in Minneapolis, Minnesota. When they first started to roll the dough and bake their pizza to perfection,
One of the worst frozen food pizzas ever. My personal preference is Screamin' Sicilian, but you can't beat Red Baron for its price point. DiGiorno has great crust if you like thick crust, but I found their sauce to be kind of bland. That's just my take on the frozen pizza market.
they could never have imagined that they'd be serving up to 300 million party pizzas every year. What started out as a simple, small takeout pizza shop soon bloomed into a functioning sit-down restaurant at the request of happy owners. Rose and Jim would bake 400 to 500 pizzas daily, and just a decade later, Totino's finer...
You know, why do these restaurants, like a Totino's actual pizza restaurant, I'm sure the pizza is way better than the frozen stuff. It's just like Chef Boyardee. I assume he was a really good chef, but the stuff that comes out of the can is not that great.
Foods began. This led to the mass production of frozen pizza that could be baked in the comfort of one's own home. It didn't take long for Totino's to establish a significant presence within the frozen pizza industry. The establishment's skyrocketing to fame was also a true phenomenon to behold. But as we delve into the history of the most beloved frozen pizza brand, you might be thinking that something sounds a little off. It's almost as if the name Totino's Pizza doesn't sound quite right.
Right.
While doing some grocery shopping, some eagle-eyed citizens went to grab their favorite pizza one day. As they began to load the shopping cart, their eyes fell on something strange. Written in bold, bubbly writing was the name Totino's. They stopped, and color drained from their faces. Totino's? Isn't it Tostino's? They questioned.
You know, I think I've felt that way before 2 years ago, that it was Tostino's. Interesting.
It turns out that many of the happy customers recall the frozen pizzas having a slightly different name. To many, Tostino's just sounds right, catchy, and it flows better. Bewildered by the sight, some may instantly turn to Google to search for the packaging or question if the name was changed, and all they'll find is the name Totino's, as it's apparently been this entire time. Sure, it's easy to make a simple mistake in pronunciation, but when tens of thousands of customers, regular buyers of the product, begin questioning their very reality as they recall that extra S, you have to admit something strange might be going on. Number 8. Unlike the artwork of modern times, historical paintings are host to the finer and intentional details. Each of these classical works of art holds some sort of meaning and was placed there with intent, whether it's the faint smile on the Mona Lisa, the near contact of the hands in the creation of Adam, or the golden bracelet that hangs loosely on the figure seen in The Scream. That's right, the golden bracelet, the delicate feature that no one seemed to notice, unnoticed because it simply wasn't there before. The Scream is a...
Okay, I have a confession to make. These types of artwork seem like a third grader drew them or painted them, so I don't really pay attention to art too much. I liked MC Escher. I thought his stuff was great, but I've seen this picture before, but you know, observing that there was a bracelet on the arm or not was not something I really paid close attention to.
Painting meticulously created by Edvard Munch, who didn't know that it would become his most famous painting. This particular design was subjected to recreations totaling 4 colorful versions. Munch had painted 2 versions of The Scream, and Pastel drew another 2. He also created a black and white lithograph of the art piece. The artwork itself shows an androgynous figure standing upon a bridge beneath a boiling sky, which appears to be aflame with orange and red tones. The figure, wearing a blue coat, holds his elongated hands to his skull-like head. His eyes are in a state of shock, and he appears to be unleashing a spine-chilling shriek. It's this very rendition that's listed as the second most famous in art history, following the Mona Lisa. Yet, in most analyses of the piece, art historians fail to mention one particular detail: that golden bracelet that dangles down from his wrist and merges with the coat. With the various details present within this classic, it shouldn't have been missed. It hung in art galleries, observed by very art enthusiasts for centuries, but almost no one seemed to notice the jewelry. Looking at it in conjunction with the rest of the painting, it certainly appears out of place too. It seems random, an afterthought, evidenced by the lack of continuity where the bracelet meets the side of the hand. It also appears slightly transparent, with the hand being visible underneath the layer, meaning that no place had been intentionally left for it. This Mandela effect had art enthusiasts wondering if someone had broken into the museum only to add this specific piece of jewelry to a previously undecorated figure. It seems, though, that this particular painting has been subjected to more than one subtle change. Some have sworn that the Scream's background was completely different. It took on less of an orange, nauseous hue, and instead had blues and grays, basic and lifeless. They also recall there being some swirls, a boat on the water, and no background figures. Number 7. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? Probably not, because that's not the actual catchphrase, apparently. Everyone knows Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, mostly by his ring name, The Rock.
Okay, as a wrestling fan, just going over this in my head, this one, I can understand why people think that he said, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" But he always said, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking." That's what he said. So this one's kind of a non event as far as I'm concerned. He never said, "Can you?" There may have been skits about The Rock later that somebody said that, but that was not what The Rock was saying. So that one's not really, I don't think, a Mandela effect. A very interesting video, though. You can check it out if you want to on your own and go through all top 10 Mandela effects. And they have many others on this YouTube channel. Again, the YouTube channel is Top 5 Unknowns. Very good channel. What I've seen, I've found it interesting. I think that the Mandela effect is a fascinating theory. If you enjoy this channel and some of the other things I'll be doing with it, please like and subscribe to Bruce Collins Reacts and stuff. And also, I have a YouTube show that's on every week. It's called The Bruce Collins Show. That's the channel name, The Bruce Collins Show. If you could, view that and like and subscribe that channel also. It helps us with the algorithm. Thank you so much. I hope to talk to you soon. Take care.